where are they giving away the drugs? Maybe I shouldn't be telling everybody this, but where do they give away methamphetamine and amphetamine? Are they giving that away? They're giving it away out on the street? Where? I've never seen a sign. Here, free drugs. I've never seen that. Where do they give them away at? Where? You know where? Well, yeah, Beaumont's a big town. We got over 100,000 people. Where in Beaumont? I want to know if it's around my house because I wouldn't want that.
It's on the streets.
They're just giving it free. Okay. You know better though, right? You know not to do that.
I was in a position that I've never been in before.
What was that?
Homelessness, and I didn't have no support system. I didn't have nobody.
Okay, I understand that, but we've had homeless, unfortunately, for eons. Before drugs came along, I mean, they weren't handing them out for free. Come on.
I never been through it. They were for free. I never paid for drugs.
Shame on you. You made a choice though, right? How does that help you in a quality of life? Allege, looks like burglary of a habitation, burglary of a habitation, burglary of a habitation, and of course, to round out the field, burglary of a habitation. You're on probation for, looks like since July of 23. Would that be about right? It's all about the same time? Yeah. Sentenced to 10 years in prison, probated for 10 years in each of these cases. Is that right? So you're looking at up to 10 years in prison if you don't do well. Well, there's a first amended motion filed in each of these cases, and it's alleged that you failed to report to the probation office in August of 24, failed to immediately report your change of address to the probation office, provided a urine sample in July of 24 that had methamphetamine and amphetamines and other drugs in your system, failed to provide verification of performing community service hours, failed to make restitution payments, and failed to pay court assessed fees. Also, it looks like in March of this year, it states you committed the offense of illegal possession of a controlled substance. Is that a case filed in the parish of Calcasieu in Louisiana? Is that a pending case?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe so.
And then failed to remain in Jefferson County by being in Calcasieu Parish in Louisiana without permission, and then illegally possessing methamphetamines, according to Calcasieu Parish. There's 10 different violations here. Only takes one to get revoked and for me to assess the punishment. All right, what are we going to do on this case while she's just kind of sitting around? And I know she wants to move on with her life. What are we going to do, Mr. Turk? Do we need a hearing on this?
We may, Judge, just because I think there may be some mitigation on this one that she wants to present. She has given me letters.
Always plead true, and then mitigation is part of what is the disposition issue.
Part of it, I want to make sure she understands what the risks of pleading true are. When we're having conversations in the back,
You understand that if it's up to the court, if I find any of these allegations true, then, and that's just by what we call a preponderance of the evidence, I'm playing the scales of justice, 50% and a fraction more true. If that's all it takes, then your probations could be revoked and you can be sentenced up to 10 years on each of these cases. And that's 40 years in prison. Now, I probably wouldn't do that, realistically add them up to each other, but certainly if you were sentenced together, if I decide to put them all together, that's still up to 10 years in prison. That's still a lot of, I wouldn't want to go to prison, for a day, much less for 10 years. But you can't commit crimes or violate your probation. That's important. 93% of the people on probation are successful. 93%. And I want 100%, but sometimes folks like you end up making mistakes if you did, and we've got to fix them. And that's what we do here. Now, the question is, what do you want to do? Are you going to plead true to these, or do you want a hearing on this? And that's between you and your lawyer to talk about. Have you had some time to talk to Mr. Turk? He's a nice man.
Yeah.
But are you ready to decide what you're going to do, or do you need a little more time to think?
No, sir, I'm ready and I would like to speak if I.
You know, you're going to be heard. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to listen to everything everybody says. And this is a nice man. He's representing the state. He's a prosecutor, and you know, Mr. Turk, your defense attorney, and you. And then there's the probation officer, and everybody's going to get heard. And then I get to make the decision. You don't get a jury trial. It's up to me. So what do you want to do? And when do you want to do it? That's all I want to know today.
To do it right now. And I wrote you a letter. If
You did?
I haven't had a chance to do it to you.
Oh, was it a nice letter?
It's a nice
Oh,
letter.
okay. Well, I like nice letters.
She's
But you're
like,
going to get, you can even read it to me if you want. That's your business. All right. You've had a chance to think of this. This was filed back on September 30th. So that's not a long time at all. These are new. So do you waive? You have 30 days at least, I give you, to prepare for this, or do you want to move forward today? You would? All right. Does Mr. Turk, on behalf of the defendant, does the defendant waive formal readings of these first amended motions to revoke probation in these cases? Cause numbers 23 CR 341, 23 CR 342, 23 CR 343, and finally 23 CR 360. Can we proceed in summary?
We may judge.
And does the defendant waive all additional time period she may have under the law to proceed? And we can proceed today.
Yes, sir.
All right. In summary, ma'am, and raise your right hand, Lydia. Are you Lydia Christine Stafford?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you promise that any statements that you make during this hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, lower your hand. In summary, these motions similarly state that on July 31st, 2023, in this court, the Criminal District Court of Jefferson County, Texas, you were convicted of burglaries of a habitation in each case, second-degree felonies. You were sentenced to 10 years in prison. That was suspended, and you were placed on regular probation for 10 years in each of these cases. Is all of that true and correct?
Yes, sir.
Allegation 1 in each case similarly states that you failed to report to the Jefferson County Probation Office on or about August 27th, 2024, in violation of your probation order. Is that true or untrue?
It's true, sir.
Are you pleading true voluntarily and because it is true as it is alleged?
Yes, sir. It's true.
Do you understand that a voluntary and knowingly made plea of true to one or more violations of probation, that's all it takes to grant a motion to revoke probation by a preponderance of the evidence or greater by the court? Your probation can be revoked and you can be sentenced to no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison on each of these cases. Knowing that, do you insist on pleading true today?
Yes, sir.
I find you are pleading true voluntarily, and you understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true. Now, I understand the probation office is represented here, and on behalf of the probation officer, she failed to report on that day. Did she abscond after August?
Yeah, she never reported.
So she hasn't reported in over a year?
Yeah, the last office visit was July 30th of 2024.
And so she's been AWOL, as it were,
Yes.
away without leave. She had failed to report since August of 2024, so that's over a year.
Yes.
If that's important. You have to touch base. You have to keep communicating with the probation officer. Hold on, you're gonna get to, or else you're not really on probation. You're on your own probation. And that's not something you're supposed to do. You're under my supervision. I can't supervise you if you're gone, All right, so that one is true and correct, right?
Yeah, those really good.
All right, and you're gonna get a chance to speak here. Then we're gonna go to allegation 4 in each of these cases. And this alleges that on July 30th of 2024, which may have been a bad sign. That was the last time you had reported, huh? July 24th. On that day, July 30th, 2024, you provided a urine sample, I guess, to the probation office, and it was tested scientifically and showed that you had methamphetamine, amphetamine, ecstasy, and marijuana in your system, which is a violation of your probation order. Is all of that true and correct?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading true to that voluntarily, knowingly, intelligently, and because it is true? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay. Again, the same thing applies. You have to understand that a knowing and voluntary plea of truth to any violation of probation, that is enough to grant the motion to revoke probation. Your probation can be revoked and you can be sentenced to no less than 2 nor more than 10 years confinement in prison. So understanding that, as we had told you before in the other violations, knowing that, do you insist on pleading true to this allegation nonetheless? I find you are pleading true voluntarily. You understand and appreciate the consequences of pleading true.
Witnesses, but they were discussing. Yeah, so they're really only speaking. First, following with. Right. Tomorrow. That's why I have a home Saturday and Monday. Thank you. You go with me stuff. You lose the the outfits. Thanks for fun. Yeah, the webs was both. There was just got straight. Yeah, and Jay my brother about that, and it says she just understood coming from the work. Now I'm 50 minutes. I haven't seen any dog there yet. I'm postcard.
Okay, and then finally, we've got this little rash of problems out of Calcasieu Parish. What's the status on all of that? Mr. Turk, do you know?
I don't know for a fact. I'm not.
All right, I'm reluctant to go into that because it could affect the dispositions of those, and she's presumed innocent unless found guilty. So we can move forward, though, on these 2 allegations, 1 and 4. All right. Now, anything to add from the state of Texas?
Yeah, they're just two large amounts of restitution, 0341 and 0360 that's still owed. I believe in speaking with probation that we believe she has of course, a drug issue.
All right, let me ask you from probation, help me out on this. She's been on probation, since July of, for 2 years. How much restitution has she paid? Nothing. Okay. All right. It's not good, obviously. All right, anything else?
I think, Your Honor,
What are you asking for from the state?
if she were to stay on probation, we would recommend SafeP to try and get her some treatment for drug issues and a high risk mental health caseload there that try to get her on track to pay back. If not, we'd ask for 7 years TDC, Your Honor.
How much time does she have? She's got 226 days. Probation. What do you think? Is there any? I mean, if you don't show up, we can't help you.
The August appointment of last year was supposed to be so we can meet to get her signed up for safety special needs. So I'm still wanting to do that for her to get treatment, and then afterwards, the high medium risk caseload.
So she was placed on probation in July. Okay. She never reported. After that?
After that last appointment, she didn't report back. She did.
No,
We were trying to
okay.
get her.
I placed her on probation on July 31st of 2023.
Right.
So when did she report?
She was reporting at that.
Okay,
She-
for a year,
Mhm.
for
She
about
had,
a year.
yes, but previously she had, once she was placed on probation, she had to do 180 days up front. So afterwards, after she was released from the county jail, then she was reporting. She was reporting up until July 30th of 24. After that last appointment, she did.
And the total amount of restitution that's owed in all of these 4 cases?
It's roughly 24,000, Your Honor.
But none has been paid? Nothing? Okay. All right, and good dance.
Judge Ms. Stafford I have talked to her a little bit. She said that the time prior to all the revocation and before she was arrested, she did have issues with drugs, and that was the mainstay of why she was having all of these issues. She was homeless at the time. I think she told me that she took the drugs in order to stay up to guard her stuff, which is understandable.
So I want to know your homeless. Where are they giving away the drugs? Maybe I shouldn't be telling everybody this, but where do they give away methamphetamine and amphetamine? Are they giving that away? They're giving it away out on the street? Where? I've never seen a sign. Here, free drugs. I've never seen that. Where do they give them away at? Where? You know where? Well, yeah, Belmont's a big town. We got over 100,000 people. Where in Beaumont? I want to know if it's around my house, because I wouldn't want that.
It's on the streets.
They're just giving them free. Okay. You know better though, right? You know not to do that.
I was in a position that I've never been in before,
What was that?
homelessness, and I didn't have no support system. I didn't have nobody.
Okay, I understand that, but we've had homeless, unfortunately, for eons. Before drugs came along, I mean, they weren't handing them out for free. Come on.
I never been through it. They were for free. I never paid for drugs.
Shame on you. You made a choice though, right? How does that help you in a quality of life? How does that help you be better? How does that help you stay out of prison?
It didn't help me deal with being homeless.
Well, those are problems, but sometimes people have problems. Sometimes they lose all their money. Sometimes they're homeless, but you don't run to felonies, right?
I didn't come in no more felonies.
You did all these. Methamphetamine is a possessing that is a felony offense.
That's, they dropped it to a misdemeanor. and
Not in front of me, they didn't. Not in front of me. You're charged with illegal possession of controlled substances. You said that you had methamphetamine, ecstasy, and marijuana. That's,
Oh, no.
those are felonies.
That ecstasy and the.
You said true, ma'am.
No, right, sir.
Go ahead. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. Until you can tell me the truth, you know, don't interrupt me. What I don't like about this, the way this is headed, is she's not telling me the truth.
Ma'am.
No, you're not, ma'am.
Can I just read you this letter, please?
No, ma'am. You are looking at up to 10 years in prison on each of these cases, 40 years.
So,
And you're gonna, you just interrupted me for the fourth straight time.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. What we'll do is come back for a hearing and look at this 40-year sentence because I'm sorry, you don't follow any rules now. You don't follow the rules of decorum, being nice, polite, nothing. And all this is your choices. These are your choices. No, that's all. We'll have a hearing on this and we'll decide at up to 10 years on each of these cases. It's obvious that she's destined not to follow any sets of rules, whether it's with probation or with the court and just decency of dealing with other people. That is all.